hopefully you're fastening your seatbelts for the next 2 hours.
Right.
That's nonsense, Clint. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
I don't care what you buy.
That's
just
nonsense.
My feeling.
You're not just buying a racetrack. You're buying a piece of American racing history right there. I mean, that's huge. The history behind the track, just mind-boggling.
You hear a lot of rumors in the rumor mill. I'll just keep tuning in to you guys to hear the truth when it comes down to it. So
don't do that. I've already had one dose of tin hat syndrome today. I don't need a second one.
Stewart Friesen said to Brett, he says, "Why don't you bring us to more places like this?" And Brett goes, "There isn't any other place like this."
Race fans, it's time to throw it up on the cushion and get dirty. Coming to you live from the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier, it's time for Turn 5 Live. Now, your hosts of Turn 5 Live, Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, and Brad Ovens.
Oh, welcome aboard, race fans, to this week's episode of Turn 5. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Were you expecting Turn 5 Live this evening? I'm sorry. The boys from Turn 5 Live have the night off. We're going to bring you Silly Season Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network.
That is damn right, brother. That is right. Right on.
We are about ready to uncork a bottle of Silly Season here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens coming to you from, well, the soon-to-be Chop 2 studios here in beautiful Horseheads. We got Clint Miller coming to us from Wine Country out in Penn Yan, and then down in the Race City USA studios in Mooresville, North Carolina, Jacob Seelman joining us on the program tonight. Gentlemen, we've got a whole bunch to cover tonight. We have got some of the biggest names in dirt track racing joining us on the program tonight. We sent Jacob off to do just a bang-up job at the World Finals right in his backyard in Charlotte. So we are going to hear from guys like Donnie Schatz, Tony Stewart. Yes, that's right, that Tony Stewart. Going to be right here with us here on Turn 5 Live. Jason Johnson, Mark Richards, Matt Shepard, Stewart Friesen, just some of the biggest names in dirt track racing when you look at 410 sprint cars, dirt late models, and of course the big block modifieds.
Now,
here.
Steve, let's make sure we get the right Richards here, because I think Kid Rocket instead of the original Rocket was the one that won the championship.
Ah, yes, there you go.
Hi,
yes.
Josh.
Yeah, yes. And it is going to be a phenomenal show. And I want to start it off tonight. We were talking that we've got silly season news tonight.
Oh,
well,
boy.
Let me tell you something that's hot off the press. Something that just came across my desk here within the last 2 or 3 hours. Dan Harpel opts out of contract renewal, chooses not to return as Penn Can Speedway promoter after 2 seasons. This is a big announcement. Now, some folks had hinted that this was going to happen on some of the dirt track boards here on Facebook, and I didn't really think that was really a classy thing to be throwing that out there. Clint, I know you kind of agreed with me on that.
Absolutely.
Before the man had an opportunity to make his announcement or even make a decision. He just made this decision here within the last day or two. And so I just wanted to pull a couple of things out of here. A couple of quotes from Harpel's release that came out today. After giving it a lot of thought and consideration, I've decided not to renew my contract and will not return as promoter of Penn Can Speedway in 2017. I notified the owners to let them know of my intentions and to thank them for the opportunity. I assured them that I will be happy to work with the new promoter to ensure a smooth transition, added Harpel. And as we have gotten to know Dan over the years, no surprises there. Just a classy dude. And I just talked to him via text message here about 15 minutes ago, Clint. And, he said he doesn't know what the future holds for him, but I can assure you, if I owned a dirt track, if I owned a dirt track that needed some veteran presence, that needed some leadership, Dan Harpel would be my guy. Sun up to sundown, Dan Harpel would be my guy. So sad to see him departing Penn Can. He really did some great things trying to freshen Penn Can up a little bit, and I think that he was successful in doing so. Sorry to see that his time has come to an end there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Steve. I mean, he is a class act, and like you said, from his days at Yates County Speedway, he was just a good guy to be around, very knowledgeable, nice guy. The family of the sport, with his boys there, and it's just, he'll land on his feet somewhere. Not that he's not off his feet. I'm not saying that by any means, but he'll land somewhere, and wherever he goes, it'll be the best decision that track has made.
No doubt about it. Now, Jacob, we talked about it off the top of the show here. Silly season in full effect. I mean, just like when we feel like we've gotten one announcement and we're like, whoa, okay. And then we get our bearings, then boom, here comes something else. It's just like, what is going on here lately?
Okay, so I got a few things with this. Number one, we've seen about 3 major sprint car names from the World of Outlaws and greater 410 sprint car community at large shift around in the past, 48 hours. It all started on Saturday afternoon when Joey Saldana announced to all of us who went down to talk to him, Steve, that Roth Motorsports was scaling back. They would not be keeping the 83 car on the tour for 2017, and that he was basically ride shopping for the second time in 2 years. He did this last off season when Modern Motorsports needed to do something else and ended up signing with Dave Blaney. That was when he went back to Roth. So now Joey's on the driver market again. Well, we don't have a resolution for that. Second bombshell comes Monday morning at 9 a.m. when Danny Lasowski, the dude, his phone rings, and the guys from Big Game's Tree Stands and Todd Quiring basically tell him, hey, thanks for winning us 4 championships in 2 years and all, but you're fired. So there's the second big name that undergoes a shift, and Lasowski says, he's 58 years old, but we don't know. He's not ready to retire. He doesn't want to retire. Lasowski kind of reminds me of the king at this age. He's still got the talent to get it done. Hell, he won the Knoxville Track Championship this year and the National Sprint League title. This is a driver that's still at the top of his game. He won an Outlaws race this year, for crying out loud. Somebody put him in a ride, please. But anyway, so that seat got its happy ending earlier today, Steve, with what I argue is the absolute best choice for this seat. The Big Game Tree Stands folks go, and they hire the one guy who A, lives close to their shop, and B, has the exact same schedule in mind that they do. They hire Kerry Madsen, the Madman, for 2017. They're going to run all the big races, predominantly World of Outlaws, some Knoxville, some NSL, basically whatever strikes their fancy, but they're going to run all the marquee, big money to win races. I love this pairing for Kerry Madsen and for the folks at Mainstream Holdings, Big Game Tree Stands, all of that. This is, I think, a match made in heaven, because now you've got a guy who's about 20 to 25 years younger than Lasowski, at least. I didn't do the exact math on that for anybody that's wondering. I'll check myself during the break. But, you've got a younger guy in Kerry Madsen who's very hungry, very willing, and his idea of an optimum schedule is the same as the Big Game Motorsports guys, Steve. That team doesn't want to run the entire Outlaws schedule. Kerry's tried it, done it, gotten the award for it, and he was done with that a year ago. That's why he didn't run the whole schedule this year. I wanted to see something good happen for him ever since the Canaric Racing number 29 shut down abruptly after the Knoxville Nationals. And thank God for Todd Quiring stepping up and giving Kerry Madsen a fresh shot. This is a great pairing. Not that I don't love what Kerry did in the Matt Wood 17W, but I think this is the most potent ride that Kerry could have picked up for what he wants to do. I think they're going to win a lot of races next year. As for Lasowski and Saldana, who knows what's going to happen to them? I think Saldana's going to end up somewhere. Here, I'll throw this one out there. Bet you nobody's expected me to say this. How about the potential, because Dennis Roth said he was going to financially help Joey find somewhere to land on his feet, guys. How about Dennis Roth helping to fund a second Larson Marks car? There's an idea, huh?
Now there's an idea. There's an idea, and that's an option.
Why not?
What was one of the big reasons why Joey took an exit at Casey Kane Racing? Funding.
That's exactly right. So
throw that one out there too. I mean,
it's possible.
Yeah,
I think it's more likely for the funds from Dennis to go towards a startup team than it would be for him to go back to Casey Kane. I know there were some kind of hurt feelings there when Saldana left the 9 car. So I don't foresee him going, and I don't foresee KKR fielding a third car either, Steve. I think their resources are about strapped fielding 2 full-time cars. I don't see a third, but you know what? A second Larson Marks car, a teammate for Shane Stewart, could elevate that whole operation. And Joey made a really good point when he said all weekend long, the biggest flaw that we have in the Outlaws and in sprint car racing in general right now is the lack of ownership. It's very hard, unless you're a select group of people, to be able to run with the Outlaws. That's why I say he may have to team up with an ownership that's already there.
Well, and Jacob, to that point, this is exactly why this is a great move for Todd Quering and Kerry Madsen, because to me, you no longer have to run a 92 race schedule to be classified as a driver that has a good ride. You don't have to follow the entire Outlaws tour just to be able to say, okay, this guy's got a good ride. Because Kerry Madsen's going to be incredibly competitive with the Big Game Tree Stands team, without a doubt. So coming up next, folks, stick around here. We've got Donnie Schatz, World of Outlaws, 8-time World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Cars champion. We're going to hear from Donnie. We're going to hear from his car owner, Tony Stewart. Schatz, Stewart, next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Max Dairy Bar is a proud supporter of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Opened in 1974, Max Dairy Bar has been a Penn Yan, Cayuga Lake, and Yates County staple, serving the best Hershey's hard ice cream. They also have soft serve ice cream, their weekly yogurt special, sorbet flavors, gluten-free options, frozen Greek yogurt, and non-dairy lemon ice. Don't forget about their tricky 18-hole putt-putt course that will test your skill to see if you have what it takes to be a champion. Max Dairy Bar and Mini Golf, located on State Route 14A, just south of the village of Penn Yan, right on the way to Black Rock Speedway on Friday nights. Visit them online at www.maxdairybar.com or Max Dairy Bar on Facebook and Twitter. Stop by Max Dairy Bar and tell them Turn 5 Live sent you. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Dan Harpel from Penn Can Speedway, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stephen Ovens, Clint Miller, Jacob Seelman joining you here on the program. And a quick announcement, both the Outlaw Speedway and Woodhull Raceway now have their ticket order forms available for the 2016 season-ending banquets. Saturday, January 28th for Outlaw Speedway at the Harbor Hotel in Watkins Glen. Saturday, December 10th at the Watson Homestead Conference Center for the Woodhull Raceway. You can find them online, www.outlawspeedwayllc.com and at www.woodhullraceway.com. Back to some World Finals news and discussion here with Jacob Seelman. And, well, we'll just say his name, Donnie Schatz, Jacob. 8 times now a World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car champion, and really went out in style here in 2016 with a big win on championship night Saturday.
Yeah, he did. The story of Saturday night was Donnie Schatz, who kind of was mired in a little bit of traffic the early stages of the race. He started inside the top 5, started third after winning the Craftsman Club Dash Saturday night, but it wasn't until a restart on lap 15 that he was able to work his way around, surprise, surprise, we've been talking about this guy a lot this year, David Gravel, to take the lead, but once he got out in front, that was it. There was no looking back. There were a couple times where he started to slow up in traffic, and we thought Gravel would have a chance, but every time a caution would come out. Donnie ultimately going to his 25th win of the season, the 229th of his career, and like you said, 8 championships since his first in 2006. That's 8 of the last 11 World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series championships, and the first one under Craftsman as the title sponsor. It was huge, Steve, in a lot of ways, but I think the biggest thing that stuck out for me was the joy, the elation, and good grief, the downright funny moments that we had after the race on the front stretch when the man, the myth, the legend, the team owner, Tony Stewart, is in the house and just cutting up with everybody, cutting up with me, cutting up with Donnie's dad, cutting up with Donnie, giving everybody crap. Why? Well, because he's Tony, and that's what he does. This is, this was the Tony Stewart who wants to get back to dirt track racing. This was the Tony Stewart that's ready for all this NASCAR crap to be over, as he called it, off microphone to me at one point during the night. And this is a Tony Stewart that's just motivated to get back to having some fun. And you know what, Steve? Special assignment for me at the World Finals. I got to talk to the guy. Let's go ahead and roll the tape, because Tony, yeah, he's Tony. That's all we need to say. Jacob Seelman for Race Chaser Online and the Performance Motorsports Network. Champion owner Tony Stewart. I asked Donnie Schatz earlier this season what the key to the success was. He labeled you, and he labeled this team. Going back to it now, 8 championships. How do you look at the man who's done so much for your organization?
I think he points the finger at me. I point the finger at him, and Ricky Warner and Scuba and Brad. All these guys. They just, this is probably the one group that's probably gelled the most of anybody. And when you got guys on the road over 100 days a year, and they all got to live with each other, it's that's hard to find as a pairing like that. So these guys do a great job, and the chemistry that Donnie and Ricky have, you don't see it anywhere else in the pits.
How special is it? How excited are you to get back to more of this next year?
I'm loving it. It was hard to be here and sit there and want to be in the race car, but we got 3 weeks and 1 day from tonight, and then I can go do as much of it as I want. So not that I'm counting. I mean, nobody's counting, but we're excited about it. I mean, it's what I want to do. It's I've loved my 18 years in the Cup Series, but I'm ready to get back and run more dirt races again.
So those are the words from Tony Stewart. And Jacob, just like you said, man, you can just hear it in his voice. I mean, yeah, he says nobody's counting the days, but I don't buy that for a minute. I think he's got it calculated down to the second.
Well, that's what I was saying Saturday night. I was joking with him. He says, not that I'm counting or anything. I kind of rolled my eyes, and after I cut the mic off, I said, yeah, right, you're not counting. And he said, you're right, I'm counting. And, of course, I'm paraphrasing slightly because it was Tony, and there was a little bit of alcohol by that point, and maybe there were a few words that weren't quite fit for radio consumption, but no, it was great. It was really great to see. He and Donnie's dad were having so much fun, and that I could tell you stories, but most of the stories of what happened on Saturday night would get us kicked off the air in about 5 seconds flat. So we're gonna refrain from that, Steve. Let's talk about Donnie. 25 wins this season, goes by far and away above and beyond anybody else this year, and this was his championship. There's no two ways about it. This was Donnie Schatz' championship, just like it's been the last 3 or 4 years in a row. Period.
Yeah, but the thing that you'll point out here in just a minute, Jacob, is this was much different. Yes, it's another Donnie Schatz championship, but there's so many things that made this championship different that, quite frankly, should be quite concerning for the rest of his competition, because now I think you can say he's won it in every way possible.
Yeah, he really has. And as far as as far as this year, he was in a 100-point hole when he left Volusia. So yeah, this was different. But Donnie was so thrilled because they rallied back. You're going to hear that here. Let's go to the interview because I can say it so many ways. But Donnie says it best. This may have been our best championship. Let's roll the tape. Jacob Seelman for Race Chaser Online and the Performance Motorsports Network. Yet another year standing in the trailer at the dirt track at Charlotte with now 8-time World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series champion Donnie Schatz. I know each year they add a number. It just gets a little bit better and a little bit better. But tonight, you add to it. You win another race here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Before we talk about all the other fun stuff, what a battle you and Gravel had there about halfway. And it looked like the restart was what gave you enough to get the lead and the win.
Well, I don't know if the restart was what did it. We had a good car. We got to him. We had to get him moving, and when I went to the bottom, he seen me there, and he tried to keep me at bay. So, it gave me an opportunity to start moving around a little bit, and I did get by. So, my car was really good on the short runs. Is almost incredible on the short runs. It was the long runs. The longer we went, the worse it got. So, we know how to fix that. That's the plus. That's what makes me smile at the moment. So, yeah, we got ourselves a win. That's great. It's a good way to end the season. It's a good way to win a championship. And we're going to enjoy it, and hopefully we can keep that the things that we learned for Florida and start off on the right foot.
I know that's something you're looking at because obviously this year you didn't start off on the right foot, but you came back. Does that make you smile a little bit bigger too, knowing that you guys rallied out of a huge hole to be in the lead and carry it down the stretch?
Absolutely. Florida was really, you never base anything off of how you do in Florida. You can run good there and have a terrible rest of the year. You can run bad there and be good everywhere else. It's, we went to Florida and we were racing for a win, and we were actually passing for a win when we heard a motor and ended up having a DNF, and then won another night. But we left there 100 points in the hole. We're ending the season with a 300 point, to the good, and we had 4 DNFs. So yeah, that's a tribute to this team, how hard they worked. They never get beat down. I don't let them. I'm not going to let them get beat down. And that's why we can stand here and say we're champions. They're champions. I'm just a lucky guy gets to drive the race car and have all the fun and take a lot of photos. So hopefully we can continue that and carry that on. And we've been together almost 10 years. So, experience says a lot. It helps out in a lot of situations. And as long as you're having fun, we're going to continue to do what we want to do.
Well, you were having a ton of fun this weekend. Not only did you run to a win here on the final night in the sprint car, but you had some pretty solid outings in the late model. I know Friday maybe not as much, but qualified directly through the heat tonight, and car looked smooth. I know you say that running the late model always helps you when you go back to the sprint car, but I imagine you had to enjoy that this weekend, being able to get a little bit better than you've been here in the past.
It was actually more of a challenge than it's ever been for me. Man, I've been working on physical fitness so hard the last year. The way I eat, the things I do, I've been focused, and even this weekend, it took a lot out of me. That tonight, lap 20 of that late model race, I was in a good spot. I think I was in the top 10, top 8, and I was there with those guys racing, just kind of waiting to see how the track changed. And I just, the physical toll that it takes on your body is different than what we're used to in these sprint cars, and it wore me out. And when you start to get physically wore out, you get mentally spent, and you start not making good laps. You start just kind of hanging on, and that's kind of where I was from lap 20 on in the late model. So really, I didn't give it the run that I would have liked to have, but I had a blast. I'm very proud to say I made the show. There was 70 cars here in the late models. I qualified well both nights, and that's what got me in the show the first night through, fastest car that didn't qualify get in. So tonight I got in, I finished the heat very respectable, and I get a lot of help from the guys at Rocket, Mark and Josh Richards with their XR1. Them guys are incredible. They make me feel like my last name is Richards, to be real honest with you. So it's incredible to be a part of that, and look forward to being able to do some more of them events when I can. But I didn't give it the best run tonight, but I had a lot of fun, and that's what the main goal is.
I was talking to Tony down in front while you were taking pictures, and when I talked to you earlier in the season and asked you what was special about this run you've been on and what the secret was, you kind of circled Tony. Tony pointed the finger right back at you tonight. So what is it about the combination of you two and this team that just works?
Well, if you really want an answer to that question, you wait till that guy gets back in the seat of one of these sprint cars, because 4 or 5 years ago when he was doing a lot of it, that's when this team was really incredible at what they did. A lot of it comes from his feedback when he goes and races and does some of this stuff. I mean, we both run the same cars. We might have a little bit different motors, but we're looking for the same feel in the race cars. So it's he attributes a lot to it, and people don't realize that. So we're looking forward to having him back in one of these cars. And Tony's probably the best person there is for being able to relate what goes on with that race car back to the guys that make the changes. Me, not so much. I don't always make the right, I can't always say it right or expect it right, but Tony's he's incredible at that. So I can't wait till the next race I get to. He's going to be in a car where we're going to be, and that's going to be a big positive for this team, and he's very familiar how this team situation works. So he adds to it as much as anybody, and looking forward to the future with him.
They're all special. How special is number 8?
Because we were able to dig out of that hole and have 4 DNFs, which is unheard of for this team. Yes, it is. It's very special. It's hard to rate any of them. The first one's definitely incredible, but man, they get tougher and tougher. These guys, they escalate their game every year. I think that we have a lot of guys going outside the box to try to get there, and we just have to stay on top of them things and try to stay ahead of them.
Who all you need to thank? I know the laundry list is tremendous on this 15 crew, and I think just about every single one of them was here tonight.
We have a long list of marketing partners that are great, but at Tony Stewart Racing with Kerr Bagajanian, primarily Bad Boy Off-Road and Chevrolet Performance are who helps us the most, and they keep us going every day. They stay very active in the sport. They stay very involved, and we're very proud to represent their products. So we look forward to the future, and hopefully we can do as well in the future as what we've done in the past.
Tell Bill to get the embroidery crew on that, fixing that logo and getting it 8 time before Volusia in February. Congratulations, Donnie. I've said it a few years in a row now, but an incredible run, and we look forward to seeing you in February.
Thanks, and I know he will have it done.
Well, there you have it. Donnie Schatz, after wrapping up championship number 8. Just incredible. And Jacob, bravo to you. Probably the best interview. I've heard you do a few with Donnie. Probably the best one I've heard you do with him. I mean, talk about just straightforward, honest answers. And you know what? We're going to talk all about this. I've got to step aside here. And when we come back, all 4 of us, we got Tom Baker, who's going to belly up to the bar here and talk a little Donnie Schatz and Tony Stewart. So let's step aside here. When we come back, we will talk Donnie Schatz, Tony Stewart. Yes, that Tony freaking Stewart was right here on Turn 5 Live. We'll be right back right after this here on Turn 5 on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Do you love the sound of high revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, your authority on motorsports of all types. Be listening for the most accurate and up-to-the-minute coverage of every motorsports activity that you enjoy on a daily basis. Be it NASCAR, be it IRL, be it Formula One, be it drag racing, be it dirt track, off-road, props, hulls, whatever. We are your source for motorsports. Performance Motorsports Network.
Hi, race fans. This is Billy Dunn, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Now there's a guy that I wish had been at the World Finals over the weekend, Steve. No joke.
Yeah, Billy Dunn. For a guy who is trimmed back his schedule as far as Super Dirt Car Series goes just a little bit, still found a way to really make a lot of headlines this season. Mm-hmm. And, good guy. We've had him on the show here several times. But welcome back, folks, to Turn 5 Live. We are talking World Finals, and we are now our pleasure to bring aboard Tom Baker from both Race Chaser Online and the Performance Motorsports Network. Tom's ready to talk dirt track racing as always. Tom, welcome aboard.
Well, thanks, Steve. It's good to be back on Turn 5 Live again, and great to join the post-World Finals party.
That's right.
On the Performance Motorsports Network, and always fun to hear from two of the finest personalities in motorsports, Tony Stewart and Donnie Schatz.
Tequila.
Yeah. You know what, Tom? I'm going to start with you. We're going to go right around the table here.
Okay.
Albeit our table here on Skype. I'm going to start with you, Tom. You've heard the audio with Donnie. You've heard the audio with Tony. He's got 8 championships now, does Donnie Schatz. And this one was a bit different. the hole they climbed out of exiting Florida, and he spoke to it. They were not in a good position coming out of Florida, even though you don't put all your eggs in the Florida basket when you've got a 92 race schedule.
That's right.
Just how impressive was this for you?
Well, it was very impressive. I don't know that I'm surprised. I don't know that it's unexpected, but it certainly is impressive whenever you can dig out of a hole, as Donnie put it, of the way that he did. I mean, it wasn't as if he sort of won a race here, won a race there, had a bunch of top threes, top five here, win another race over here. He didn't sort of consistency his way into this championship. He just caught fire and owned it. I mean, that's, by the time we hit July, June or July, I mean, it was all Donnie Schatz again. It was almost the feeling that I had was that, okay, we spotted him the spring, now it's summer. Let's go, as if you're just kind of hanging back a while, having a good time and letting some of the other guys think that, they actually have a chance. But that team is just, I think Tony alluded to it, Jacob, the chemistry on that team between Donnie and his crew chief. I mean, again, we talk about it all the time. You've got to have the right driver and the right crew chief.
Yeah.
You each can be brilliant, but if they aren't right for each other, if the personalities don't mesh, if they can't interpret each other's language, it's not going to work. And this is one of those situations like Chad and Jimmy. It just works.
That's right. And Tony spoke to it, too. I mean, this team has such chemistry. It's unbelievable right now. The job and the performance that they've put together over the last 11 seasons, since the start of 2006, to win 8 championships, win the races that they've won. It's truly remarkable. And it's a run that was largely unthreatened until this year at times. I mean, in the end, it was still the same result, but there were several drivers that came on strong this year, including the guy who won Friday night, Steve. And this was emotional in a lot of ways. It was emotional because Jason Johnson won the race, but that was the joy of victory. For the agony of defeat, on the other side of that coin, you have Dale Blaney, who led so much of Friday night's race and was trying to honor his longtime friend, longtime car owner, longtime crew chief, George Fisher, who passed away very suddenly on Thursday morning just prior to the qualifying night. And, there wasn't a soul in that grandstand that didn't want Dale Blaney to win that race. I argue that probably everybody, with the exception of Jason Johnson, because he ultimately won the race, would have been happy with Dale Blaney winning that race. But it just, in the end, wasn't meant to be. But for Jason, wow. A Knoxville Nationals win and a Charlotte win in the same season? Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, and you mentioned those wins, but, I'm going to throw right in that. I know that Placerville's not a marquee event necessarily that we talk about on the program, but that comeback win.
Yes.
I mean, coming back to a place that nearly ended your career and just coming back and backhanding that racetrack for 35 laps. I mean, on top of the Knoxville Nationals, which is the biggest sprint car race you can win.
Oh, yeah.
Just what a season. What a season for the Ragin' Cajun. And I think this really sets them up very well next season, where, barring any, unfortunate circumstances like he's had in the last couple of seasons, it could be a great year for Jason Johnson on the World of Outlaws Tour. And Jacob, I know you caught up with him after that win.
Yeah, I did. I'm going to go ahead and glance at Brad, and he's got the button under finger ready to go. Let's hear from Jason after the win Friday night, because we had some fun with that.
Jacob Seelman for Race Chaser Online, the Performance Motorsports Network. I don't think the smile in Victory Lane was quite as big as it was at Knoxville, but Jason Johnson, that's 2 crown jewel wins in a single season. You win the Nationals, and now you win here on the opening night of the World Finals at Charlotte. and you hauled it around Dale Blaney there with 7 to go. Y'all traded sliders a couple of laps, but what did you find there in the last 15 that ultimately propelled you to victory tonight?
Just as JJR race team. I mean, these guys do a remarkable job, and they give me great race cars. And I'm not sure what we done with tires and all, but it seemed like the longer the race went, the better off I got. So it's a credit to the guys who are working on this Priority Aviation Mesilla Valley Transportation race car, and it all paid off in the end. It's really cool to win the World Finals in Knoxville within the same year.
As far as the battle there, it was tight. You guys crossed each other over, you and Dale did, for a couple laps before you finally broke free. The late race restart, I don't know if you wanted to see him or not, but ultimately it worked your way. How tight was it, though, there in those battles at the end?
I felt like, Dale gave me room and I gave him respect as well. We just raced each other really hard for sure. And it's just competitiveness is all that is. I mean, we laugh and joke, when we're outside the race cars, but when we got our helmets on, we both doing the best job we possibly can. So, you can race a guy like Dale Blaney side by side, and he's going to slide you and he's going to give you room, and you got to give him room with respect. So, just a hard-fought race. It's great for the fans. I'm glad to see the fans got to see a great sprint car race tonight, and actually all 3 divisions were great. So. Credit to the track team, track crew, and the World Finals for putting on such an awesome event.
How special is this place here in Charlotte?
It's really special, this is the granddaddy of them all, and what's kind of really cool or unique about this is, we don't get to race a lot of times at the same racetrack on the same night with the late model and the modified guys. So to read about their accolades throughout the year and then to watch them on the final night, and then they get to watch and see what we do. That's what makes it so special. Is it was really cool. Team Valvoline with Josh Richard winning the late models and us pulling off the sprint car victory. Couldn't be any more proud for them.
Who do you need to thank on this crew? I know a lot of people and supporters go into it.
No doubt. I mean, Richard, Jennifer Marshall from Priority Aviation, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Fisher's Body Shop, Dissolve Alloy, the Sage family, Jones Sound KOA, CCC, just our Maxim cars, our Kistler engines are running real strong. It's really great to have Valvoline in the house tonight. Just surrounded by great supporters. We're a privateer team. My wife and I took this leap of faith about 6 or 7 years ago to give this a shot, and we've been very, very fortunate to be blessed by so many great people.
And it's his 4th win of the season. Jason Johnson, finally a winner at the dirt track at Charlotte. And Steve, I do want to point out, not only is this big for them because they're a privateer team, as he says, they're doing it basically on their own, but the names that they beat and the season that he's had since coming back from injury, I would argue this story is one of 2 on the season, and everybody on social media that I've seen has been debating this all weekend since the World Finals. There are 2 drivers right now that I would put up in the category for most improved from the end of 2015 to right now. One of them is the guy you just heard from, Jason Johnson. The other one is the guy that we love to talk about on this show because he's just got the story. We love it. Logan Schuchart. And appropriate that, by the way, they finished 1-2 on Friday night.
Oh, very appropriate. And, this is, I said it last night on Motorsports Madness, this was a breakout season. And really, I'm going to put both of these drivers in that category. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jason, and it's hard to say it was a breakout season for a guy who's won 5 ASCS national title. I mean, how can you say that a guy's had a breakout year when he's done that in his past? But to run the 90-plus race schedule on the World of Outlaws and be the most is I know I'm going to make some of my West Coast fans a little upset when I say this, but it's on a whole nother level. It really is.
Sure it is.
Clint, I think you know where I'm going. It's not a diss. It's just it's on a different level. It really is.
No, you're absolutely right, Steve. It's ASCOS. That's their own deal. But until you make a name for yourself on the World of Outlaw Tour, that's what the gauge is. You have the Pennsylvania Posse, and you have it's always Pennsylvania Posse versus the World of Outlaws, and you can make your name in Pennsylvania, but until you make your name on the tour for the World of Outlaws, that's when you've done something.
And there's a young man from Central PA that's done that now. 3 years in the making.
Doubt.
Yeah, no doubt, Steve. There, Logan's been the man in the latter stage of this season. I told him before that second place run on Friday that we were going to have something to talk about at the end of the day. I walked up to him after the race. I said, "Told you, didn't I?" And he just kind of laughed. He said, "Yeah, and that's how we wanted to go out." And I think that said it all right there.
Well,
yeah.
Arguably, and I know we have to go to break here quick, but arguably he had the fastest car at the end of both of those races Friday and Saturday night.
Yes, he did.
Absolutely, guys. Good discussion there. We've got more discussion coming up because we've got to hear from Kid Rocket. Josh Richards, son of Mark Richards, will join us on the program. We're going to hear from him next. We're going to hear about his championship run that, by the way, included a win this weekend, as well as a win for Chris Madden. We'll talk to both of them. Audio for Jacob procured from us from the World Finals. We'll talk about it next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speeds, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a
You
left.
are not going to
then
believe
what you're
this.
going to do is turn
Marcy
onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue
just broke up,
and go past
and apparently
the first three
she's
lights,
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
Then
think
drive
she's
5 more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who am
there.
I to judge, right?
Park
anyway,
on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stewart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is the voice, Shane Andrews of the Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Oh, the voice, Shane Andrews, bringing us back from break here on the voice of motorsports, the Performance Motorsports Network. We are here on Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. We're here with you every Tuesday night from 7:30 to 9:30. And Jacob always gets us up on the chip when we get to hear from Shane Andrews.
Well, yeah, that's very
one way to put it.
That is one way to put it. Steve, the hardest part for me, though, was getting to Charlotte this year, and because of Shane's promotion at Utica Rome Speedway, not hearing him on the microphone for the Super Dirt Car Series for the first time since I've started going to World Finals. That was just one of those, what is this?
sort of moments. Not that his replacement this year didn't do a tremendous job. I'll be honest, it wasn't till about Saturday afternoon that I realized it wasn't actually Shane, because they really do sound alike. But just, it was a different dynamic with Shane not being there this year. So let it just be known for the record on this show. Shane, you were missed. We hope you come back sometime soon. I know you're loving it at Utica Rome, but we miss you.
Yeah, that's for sure. And he has got such a great position with his job that hasn't allowed him the ability to travel with the series very much anymore. But I'll tell you, as the announcer for Canandaigua Motorsports Park and Weedsport Speedway, you won't find a guy that makes it more exciting than Shane Andrews. That's for sure. We're going to talk big block modifieds in a little bit here, Jacob, but I bring them up because not only did the big block modified champion set records for wins in a season, we also saw that with the World of Outlaws Craftsman late models this weekend.
Amen, did we ever, brother. Kid Rocket is the man. Josh Richards breaks the record set by Darrell Lanigan with his 18th single-season win of the 2016 campaign on Friday night. He didn't even want to wait till Saturday night. He got it all the way done and over with on Friday, said, I'll take this trophy. Yeah, thanks, bye. But he didn't do it in the way we thought he was going to, Steve. When Josh Richards starts on the pole, what does he normally do?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He no-go bye-bye this time. Instead, it was South Carolina's Chris Madden, multi-time Carolina Clash Late Model Series titleist, who got out in front, was looking to break a 4.5-year winless drought, led 46 laps, and then Josh decided it was time to go. And Josh went and won the race for the 76th of his career. Like I said, 18th of the season, breaks the record set by Darrell Lanigan, who was in the field, by the way, on Saturday night. And yeah, that was the end of that really quickly. The one was P1 at the end of the night, Tom, and This was a very big deal for Josh. The championship was sewn up just by him signing in. He wanted the record. To go out and make a statement and win that race the way he did, that was the goal of the weekend, and Josh accomplished that very, very handily.
Yeah, I mean, again, you look at somebody like Chris Madden, who is well-known here in the South, maybe not so much in other parts of the country per se for winning, but this we talk about all the time. This is a big stage. And when you can have the kind of a run that Chris Madden had, Jacob, and get beat by Josh Richards, it's almost like you've still won. And as far as Josh's part in this, we expect him to be up front, don't we, in the late models? And he so delivered this weekend for sure.
Yeah, he did.
He delivered for sure. Jacob caught up with Josh Richards in victory lane, talking about the championship run. And why don't we go ahead, Brad, and throw that to the audio to hear from Kid Rocket.
Jacob Seelman for the Performance Motorsports Network. Took a little bit to get back to the top, but after an absence from the top step of the championship podium in 2015, Josh Richards, the one, is P1 in the points again, and you set the single-season wins record this year. You were trying to win another one tonight. Didn't quite work out. First, walk me through what happened there with 20 to go when the car slowed.
We had a restart there, and I was on the outside, and just I spun a little bit, and the car turned left just a little bit, and Madden was coming right, and we got together, and he hit the left rear and bent our wheel, and we lost air out of the left rear tire. I mean, we had a phenomenal car, a car capable of winning, and so we had to. I tried to ride it out, and it didn't quite completely go flat, but I tried to ride it out for, after that next restart for probably 5 or 6 laps, and so we went back in and changed tires and passed a bunch of cars at the end on a track that was hard to pass, and we just needed some more time, and we had a great night. You want to finish off better, but last night was phenomenal. The entire season as a whole has just been more than I could ever ask for.
I know when we talked on Friday night, the elation was setting that record, breaking Lanigan's mark. Tonight, it's about that trophy behind you and winning that for the 4th time, a record as well. How sweet is this one, especially considering all the circumstances the last couple years, the medical issue that kept you out of the car, and everything leading back to your rise back to the top? How special is this?
It's extremely special. This one to me means as much as the first one. They're all special. This one, to be able to celebrate it alongside my wife. We've been married for 2 years now, and she's been a huge supporter and goes with me everywhere, and it's a big part of this team and everyone involved. My dad, Danny, Cody, and everyone back at the Rocket Shop. It's been a phenomenal year. I mean, this one definitely stands out, and I guess after taking a year off, it made me realize how much I really missed it, and I just love what I do. I'm just so blessed to do what I love to do, and have the success that we've had just caps everything off.
As far as taking the year off, I mean, does that let you refresh mentally and kind of find a headspace again that really drives you forward to get back to where you've gotten to tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I guess you always have, there's always a fight in you, to be able to do this, it's not easy, and it takes, it's so much sacrifice that people don't even have, realize. I mean, it really, unless you actually come out on the road and travel week in and week out and, experience it. I mean, just to be able to finish a full season is tough, but to be able to, I guess compete at this level, and it takes every ounce of energy that you have on every single level, and I guess to be able to come out through all of that and come out on top again is it means everything.
All-time series wins leader now, single season record championships. What's left to chase in 2017?
Just have fun and just keep racing.
I know, not just the people you mentioned, but the partners as well. Sponsors, who do you need to thank?
Everybody, everyone involved. My dad, Danny, Cody, my wife, Andrea, Steve Baker, my dad's partner, everyone involved at Rocket. All my sponsors, Valvoline, Siebert Calf Ranches, Ace Metalworks, Salac Well Service, Andy Durham Race Engines, Ron Slavic, Integra Shocks, Hoosier Tire. Everyone on the side of this blue number 1 car it's really special to be a part of this team, and I'm glad that I could pull it off for them.
The one again, P1, after a long season. Josh Richards, the 2016 World of Outlaws late model champion. And just to clarify some of the comments that Josh made right there off the top, we were talking about his win from Friday night. He was in position to win on Saturday as well, Steve, and had a flat tire with 20 to go, had to restart about 28th, came all the way back up the field, finished, I think, 13th in that final race. But, all in all, a great night for Richards, a great weekend, really. When you're in contention to win both races, you do win one of them. And then the other race, we talk about Chris Madden, who led so much of that Friday race and comes up just that last couple of laps short. And then to come back and win on Saturday night after a race-long battle with Tim McCready. This was the story. I loved this story, and I loved getting to talk to the man behind the 44 car after the race on the front stretch on Saturday night. We'll go back to the tape and hear from Chris Smokey Madden on his win in Saturday night's finale at the World Finals. Jacob Seelman for the Performance Motorsports Network. I think Ben Shelton said it best. Sweet redemption, Chris Madden. Last night you got passed late in the race. Tonight you had to do the passing late in the race. You get around McCready there with about 20 to go, and he came after you there in those final few laps. But I think the point that my eyes kind of bugged out of my head, that lap and a half to go going into turn 3. You shot the gap 3 wide up the middle to hold the lead and never look back. Walk me through that move because it won you the race.
Yeah, we just, those guys were running in the infield and throwing a lot of crumbs across the racetrack, and we was having a little trouble steering through those crumbs. So I knew that I needed to make a move there, and I need to make a choice quick on what I needed to do. And they split open. When they split open, I just never lifted and drove through the middle of them and get myself back in clean air.
It was a fun battle with T-Mac there tonight, and I know you guys were trading lanes and real close a couple of times. Talk me through it because ultimately you came out on top.
Yeah, I mean, they set a blazing pace right there to start with, and when they give the halfway sign, I kind of picked up the pace and started running those guys back down, and then we had a caution with 20 to go, and I just decided then that I needed to take the lead and get out front in clean air and try to hold my own to the end of the race.
Got gone, broke a 4.5-year drought on this World of Outlaws late model tour. I know it's got to be sweet.
Yeah, it's definitely sweet, for all the guys that work hard on this thing, and I'd just like to thank each and every one of them.
Who do you need to thank?
Oh, definitely we need to thank all of them, you can't thank them all enough. I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Henderson Amusement, Century Plastics, Crowder Trucking, Millwood Plumbing, Penske Race Shocks, Clements Automotive Engines, Longhorn Chassis, Hoosier Dirt Tire South, VP Fuels, Hypercoil Springs, PFC Brakes, everybody that plays a part of this.
Chris Madden, a winner tonight at Charlotte. And that broke a 4.5-year winless drought with his 8th career win on the World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series. Steve, April 2012 was the last time Chris Madden had won a World of Outlaws Late Model event, and he doesn't get up on the chip maybe when you're talking to him like Josh or a couple of T-Mac, a couple of the other personalities do, but man, Chris Madden, at least when he was celebrating that win, and I asked him about it before I left the track on Saturday night, he said, that's the most fun I've had celebrating a victory in a long, long time. He said, that was fun. And, it was, and T-Mac was right up there. Steve, Tim told me something I didn't realize, McCready did. This is the first season of his career that he hasn't won a race all year. I was shocked by that, but it's a big jump from the World of Outlaws Tour to the Lucas Oil Tour, which, the argument, we can argue this point all night. The two tours, of the two, I think the Lucas Oil Tour right now is the more prestigious of the two and really has the better talent. And that was a big leap for those guys because at least the one difference between the Lucas Tour and the Outlaws Tour, the Lucas Tour has a lot more 100-lap and those endurance-style dirt late model races than the Outlaws Tour does.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And you know what? I almost think that we ought to carry this discussion into the next segment because I agree 100% with you on that. And again, it's nothing, it's not laying out any disrespect toward a tour, but I agree. I think that the challenge is just a little bit steeper. There's a bigger diversity of tracks on the Lucas Oil side. And so you know what? Hold on to that thought because we're going to come right back to this. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we will talk about dirt late models. We'll talk about the two tours, and we'll talk about some terminology, clean air and crumbs, coming up next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of food and motorsports.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Motorsports sales professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Otto Sitterly, driver of the Nicotra Racing number 7, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
The Otto.
Yeah, the Otto, who's out at the SEMA. Out in Las Vegas.
Oh, the SEMA shows had some fun announcements today, too. Not necessarily dirt-related announcements, but they've had some fun announcements today.
Yeah. So the Nicotra Racing 7, super modified, and Tom, I know you got to love that when you hear it. A super modified has made its way to Las Vegas for SEMA.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Otto and John were out there last year with the car as well. And that's really neat because that's not obviously a show known for for being a racing show. So it's a neat deal to be able to take the most unique short track most unique short track race car on the planet and drop it into the middle of a show like that, because it sort of stands out like a sore thumb and people kind of walk by and go, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a showstopper, and that's great publicity for Oswego and the Supers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Jacob will I like this idea of kind of going around and getting everybody involved in the action here, because we were talking to late models, and in thinking about this during the break, one point that I think you brought up that was fantastic was the talent level, because we've seen some drivers here in recent years kind of jump ship from the World of Outlaws Tour and make their way over, and McCready is one of them, because McCready was a World of Outlaws staple for the longest time, and now this season we saw him jump ship to the Lucas Oil Series.
Yeah, we did, and this was very, very interesting to me, because this is one of those scenarios, Steve, where McCready won the championship on the Outlaws in 2006, and Darrell Lanigan, 3-time Outlaws champion, jumped ship to the Lucas Oil Tour. Don O'Neill has spent some time on the Outlaws in the past. He jumped ship. Some big names. Brandon Shepard was a former Outlaws regular who jumped ship to the Lucas Oil Tour, and
Blomqvist.
We'll get to that in a minute, because I talked to Brian Carter over the weekend about that subject, but I don't want to ruin everybody's dinner just yet. I think the defection to the Lucas Oil Tour is very interesting right now, Steve, and it comes at an interesting time, because I feel like the Outlaws have lost a little bit of their star power, and I don't want to say it's hurting them per se, but it surely isn't helping. I mean, when you talk about the Lucas Tour having Shepard, McCready, Blomqvist, Lanigan, O'Neill, I mean, those are the names, the household names that everybody knows. So it's definitely not a good thing.
I agree totally. And Clint, as a guy that I know that you kind of like to follow the late models even a little closer than I do. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested in your take, because I know, especially with T-Mac switching series to the Lucas Oil now, I'm interested in your take here.
Oh, I completely agree with everything that Jacob said. That the World of Outlaw late models have lost a lot of their star power, and I think it all started. I don't know if Jimmy Owens was ever really a regular on the Outlaw tour, but when he started winning in the Lucas Oil stuff, it seemed like a lot of guys started to migrate over there. We didn't talk about is it Randy Davenport?
Jonathan
Davenport and Jared Landers, and the quality of the fields in the Lucas Oil cars are much better than the Outlaws right now. And it goes like when you go to all the shows, more cars are showing up for the Lucas Oil that are regulars on the tour than anything that the Outlaws do. That's my belief right now, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll be interesting to see, because I think sometimes we get cycles, where one starts to climb up. A year or two from now, maybe we'll see a little bit more of a balance in power. These things do happen, seem to shift in cycles. But
and like you talked about too, Steve, the long distance races, I think are a bigger. Maybe it was Jacob, but the long distance racers seem to have a little more allure too than what the World of Outlaws bring.
Yeah, no, and I love the long distance races, to be honest, and those are what Jonathan Davenport, Scott Bloomquist, those guys have really made their pickings on. And again, that's the hallmark of the Lucas Oil Tour right now, and it's something I think maybe the Outlaws could work on for 18 perhaps, or well, maybe even 17. They haven't come out with their schedule yet, so I can still hold out hope. But I digress a little bit, Steve. Let's talk big blocks for a few minutes, shall we? That's one of our favorite subjects on this show, and it allows me to lapse into a time of comic books and taglines. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Super Matt.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know what you guys call it in the South, but up north here, we call it just a flat-out ass-kicking this weekend.
we have a slight variation on that, but I think this is a family show. I think we can say that.
I believe
we'll go with that.
I think the word that was in my head was schlacking.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that too.
So, Jacob,
damage control.
Tell us about that shellacking.
That shellacking was Matt Shepard coming down and sweeping the World Finals. He was already tied for the most wins in a single season in Super Dirt Car Series history. Oh, good grief. I can already tell where this is going. With 10, he was tied with Phelps and with Brett Hearn, 2002-2008, 10 wins on the season. But Matt, not to be outdone, goes out, wins, and wins again. 12 is now the new record for wins in a single season in Super Dirt Car Series history. That's unheard of in the modern era of the Northeastern Big Block Dirt Car Modifieds. This is a big, big deal. He started from the pole and led all the way on Friday night. Saturday night, Tom, he did it a little differently. He started back in the middle of the field, charged to the front, and led the final 5. Boom!
Because he could.
Because he could.
And Steve, here's the scenario that comes into my head here. It was about a year ago, not even a year ago, that we got the announcement that Matt was going to basically do his own thing for the season. And everybody said, well, how is this going to work?
They all laughed at it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like, oh, my goodness, this is a bombshell. And Steve, who would have ever thought, and I'll give you a chance to respond to this before we hear from Matt, who would have ever thought that he would go out? I don't think anybody was surprised that he was competitive and won some races, but 12, Steve?
I wouldn't have said, just to throw my 2 cents in, I wouldn't have said 12, but I did say during the offseason after this announcement came out that he was going to be a force, and he was.
Well, his talent level, affords him or affords us the opportunity to say that he's going to be a force because it's Matt Shepard. But 12 wins.
That's a lot of wins.
Yeah. I mean, this day and age with the competition level where it's at right now, That's phenomenal. It really is. And, but without any further ado and us fluffing up this shellacking from the weekend, why don't we go ahead and hear from Matt Shepard, who talked to Jacob in Victory Lane.
Jacob Seelman for Race Chaser Online on the Performance Motorsports Network. That's 2 wins on the Bad Boy Off-Road World Finals and a 5th championship, Joe. Matt Shepard, holy cow. The run tonight, I mean, you had to come from 8th. It wasn't like last night. You started on the pole and left. Tonight, traffic all race. Didn't take the lead till 5 to go. Where'd the speed come from in the last 10 laps? You were 5th with 10 to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I got any faster. I think everybody else slowed down. We just, I think we just held on better than those guys did, and the thing just took off like a rocket.
Now, tonight, obviously, you had never won in Charlotte coming into this weekend. Sweep the weekend for the Off-Road World Finals and do something that only Tim McCready's done before in the Super Dirt Car Series since you guys started coming down here. Got to be sweet to finally cross this one off the bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just a perfect end to a storybook season.
That storybook season included 12 wins, a record, a championship, your 5th, and a whole lot of high points along the way. You told me yesterday this was the dream that everybody hopes for but nobody expects to have. Now that it's over, how do you look at it?
Oh, I mean, we'll remember this forever, but we're going to get to work and work on next year and see if we can get it even better.
Already gunning towards 2017. I mean, what's the mentality? I mean, do you have to go in thinking we're going to top what we did in 2016, or is this one of those where you just have to go in saying we're going to do what we did in 2016 and however it shakes out, it shakes out?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to work hard, keep doing what we're doing. And, a lot of things got to factor in. I mean, you got to have good cars, good engines, good crew. You got to have good luck, a lot of different things. But we're just going to keep working at it like we've been doing year in, year out, and just see how it plays out.
Now, you said all the wins are special, but sweeping the weekend at Charlotte, where does this one rate on the career accomplishments?
It's right up there. I mean, obviously, probably winning Syracuse will always be number 1, but this is right up there. It's definitely close to the top.
Who all do you need to thank on this 9S? I know so many people go into making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can't thank everybody enough. The crew, we got a million sponsors. The Big No Race Cars, CC Performance, Integra Racing Shocks. I mean, my wife, my family, my crew's wives and families and friends. It's a whole team effort year in, year out.
The FX Caprera Chevy number 9 goes to victory lane one more time, and Matt Shepard wins the championship.
And yes, he certainly did, Jacob.
Yes. Oh, by the way, he said we're going and getting ready to go right to work for 2017, Steve. The rest of the competition, Clint ought to be scared because I don't know how they get any better than this year, but they're already trying.
Yeah, he's at the top of the game right now, and right now he doesn't show any signs of coming down from that. And for all the other competitors to hear that they're going to work on some things for next year is a little, like you say, a little disheartening. And one more thing I want to get to before break. I don't know which is more of a storyline, Matt winning his 12 features or Brett Hearn not winning a feature for the first time on the Super Dirt Series Tour in 20-plus years?
21 years, yeah. So the first time since 1994 Brett's gone winless in a season. And I talked to him about that prior to the race on the first race on Friday, and he said, we're going to try, and doggone it, he tried, but fourth on the last night. Just they just didn't have that last little bit to get over the hump this year like they're so used to.
That is a very interesting debate on the bigger story. I mean, that's good stuff, Clint. And you know what? I think we'll expand on that a little bit. We also have a great interview that Jacob did with Stewart Friesen this past weekend, and even though he didn't come out with a win at Charlotte or even the Super Dirt Car Series championship, it's really been a great year for Stewart Friesen. So we'll hear from Stewart in the next segment. So let's step aside here, and we'll make some of our marketing partners happy with us here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is killed due to a drunk driver.
My best friend, my brother, my poor grandchild,
my sister, my father,
my husband,
my mom, my mommy.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you.
Stop these tragedies before they happen. Don't drink and drive.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stewart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Chuck Hebing, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Watch out, boys. The Cobra's going to get you. Welcome back to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Tom Baker, Jacob Seelman joining you on the program here. And we are talking big block modifieds, and I love it.
That's right. That is right. We are.
And when you're talking big block modifieds, you got Matt Shepard, who 12 wins, Super Dirt Car Series championship, and you got Stewart Friesen, who seemingly, Jacob, can win at will. And not so much on the Super Dirt Car Series this year,
but everywhere else.
It seems like everywhere else, and at Super Dirt Week, and it's just such an interesting. And we've done this comparison in the past several weeks here, but you had an opportunity to get some great one-on-one time with Stewart Friesen. Tell us about it.
Oh gosh, I spent about 15 minutes in Stewart's pit area on Saturday afternoon prior to the finale race, and he was great. That Halmar International team, they have had so much fun this year doing a lot of different things. That team has been on the Super Dirt Car Series. That team has taken a leap of faith, and the same team that fields his big block modified purchased a NASCAR Camping World truck, and they've taken that to several of the bullring short tracks on the schedule and have had some fun with that at places like Bristol, Martinsville. They actually took it to Las Vegas at during one of the standalones and ran it out there. And they've just done a lot of different things this year, Steve, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say, everybody that's listening right now, perk your ears up, pay attention. This is your warning. There's breaking news in here. Let's roll the tape and hear from Stewie.
Jacob Seelman for Race Chaser Online on the Performance Motorsports Network. Was just joking. I've talked to this guy everywhere but at a dirt track this season, so we'll complete the trifecta at the dirt track at Charlotte. Stewart Friesen has done just about everything. Only thing you miss out on in the super dirt car world this year is the championship, but all the other big block modified crown jewels you took care of. You win Super Dirt Week for the 5th time in 7 years. You won Eastern States with a nasty slide job on Brett Hearn. It's been a pretty good year to be you, and even threw some Truck Series starts in there. So I'd have to imagine right now, to finish it all off here at Charlotte and to have had the year you've had, pretty satisfied, huh?
Oh, definitely. When we formed this team in the off season with the Halmar International and the Halmar Racing team, and our goal was just to be consistent, and the first time really back on the series in a steady ride since I can remember. So it was good. We had a great series, won some races, had a lot of top 5s, a lot of top 10s, and it was good. Shepard just had an unbelievable year. So it's nothing, nothing we can hold our heads down about. The guys worked really hard, and we had a lot of fun on the road, and it was, a good series for us. We struggled a little bit the last 2 days here in Charlotte, but you'll have that. We're trying some stuff and trying to get our program better. So we got some notes to build off for the off season and kind of refine the deal a little bit and come back swinging in Volusia.
As far as this year, like you mentioned, it's a consistent scenario for the first time in a while. Does that kind of relax your mindset, or has it relaxed your mindset a bit this year, knowing that, hey, you can just go out and keep working and keep trying to find that rhythm with these guys instead of having to bounce around like you have the last few years?
Yeah, big time. It's it's took a lot of stress off me personally, and we got Rod and Eric and Lauren, my buddy Kevin Bates helping me the last couple months. It's been we got a great group, great race team here. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been good. Everybody's been working well together. We got a great baseline with our Teal Pro cars and Billy the Kid engines, and like I said, it's been good. All our product sponsors have been awesome. It's been a great season for us, and like I said, we'll just go over the winter and refine it a little bit, and hopefully come out swinging next year.
Won Oswego this year, first time Super Dirt Week's gone outside of Syracuse. You won 4 of the last 6 at the mile, but how special was it to come out strong at a new facility, new format, and perform the way you did down the stretch in that race?
It was good. We had a fast car and got up to 3rd early behind McCready and Shepard there in that race, and had some good strategy, came in about halfway and got some tires, and it worked out. We were able to keep our car together, and that's just a testament to our team. The 200 lappers, like we had at Oswego and Eastern States, are tough, grueling races, and it's the whole package. You spend a week in the shop preparing for those type of races, not a little different than we do in the summertime when we're racing every night. So the guys did a great job, and we had a good strategy and had a great race car that stayed together and that was fast when it needed to be at the end.
What was the difference in mindset between what you had at Syracuse and going to Oswego and kind of having to change the outlook there?
We just didn't have to rely on track position so much. Syracuse, although we had a good race car the last couple of years and we could race, it's still kind of a track position game that you want to play. And Oswego, we kind of let it play out, and it pitted a little bit later at halfway, and had a fast car, so we were able to make some adjustments on the car and make the car better, and that paid dividends for us.
Slider to win Eastern States on Hearn, which is not something a lot of people can say they've ever done at that race. I'll let you talk me through it, because I know to win it like that against Brett himself was special.
Yeah, certainly. Brett's got that strategy there where he pits early, lap 30 or 40 or whatever it was, and does a gas and go, and then just sees himself in track position and rides out front and saves his stuff. And we waited till about I think it was just before halfway, lap 90 something, to come in, and we took tires, took a set of rears, got gas, so we could be a little bit more aggressive. We got back to second about lap 180 there. Lap 170 something, and we're about ready to turn on the heat, and we got a flat right rear, just a weird deal. Had a puncture, the tire had a lot of tread left on it, so came back in, got another right rear. and we were able to really, put the pressure on. We missed a couple jingles there in the last 20 laps. Had enough caution so we could cycle back up through a little bit, and had a great race car and were able to make some competitive passes. And in the last lap, I got to his bumper off turn 2 and just knew that I was going to stick it in the bottom of turn 3 no matter what. So we were able to get in and fill the hole, and it worked out for us.
And you took these Halmar guys on the road, and you guys have done a little bit different, ran some Camping World truck races this season, which obviously, save for the Eldora race, completely outside your wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah.
What was the mindset? Kind of, what's the reaction now that you've done a few of them and gotten that under your belt and had a little bit of success too on some of the short tracks? It's not looked too bad because you've been able to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, it's been a really exciting and challenging deal starting the Halmar Racing team with the Craftsman Truck Series, and we went to Eldora and we were pretty fast and had a mechanical failure take us out there at the end. But we're learning it. We're building the team from the ground up, and Teddy Brown, our crew chief, is doing a good job, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a challenge that I never expected to have the opportunity to have. So I'm just loving it. It's a totally different world, and but it's awesome to compete at that level, and just thanks to Halmar International and everything they do, and giving us the resources to be able to do that. So we're going to just keep trying to build that deal up, and try to do some more races next year and see how it goes.
What's the difference for you between running dirt and running asphalt?
I think that the technicalities of it, the driver can make up a lot more on dirt, whereas on the pavement, it takes that percentage of driving out of it, so it's a little bit more equipment. So you got to be able to give really, really good feedback during practice, and have you get about 2 hours of practice for these races. So you got to be able to give the right feedback so the guys can make the right adjustments. So that's been things that we've been working on and trying to get better and better. And we've been solid at the races we've been at. So it's been it's been cool. It's been a lot of fun.
What do we see you do next year? Are we going to see another run at the Super Dirt Car Championship, or maybe a little more focus shifted towards some of the NASCAR stuff?
I think we're going to run, I think we'll end up running 6 races this year with the Truck Series. I think we'll try to do more than that, maybe double that next year. We'll just see. We're going to do Phoenix and Homestead, and it looks like we're going to put a Speedway truck together for Daytona, which will be cool, but I think after Homestead we'll sit down and just try to pound out a schedule and see what's realistic for us to do, and where we can be the most competitive and yet still do some sprint car and modified stuff. So it's going to be a exciting 2017.
Who all goes into this deal, and who do you need to thank?
Oh, I got to thank my guys. Like I said earlier, they've been excellent all year. It's been a lot of fun, and the guys in the truck shop have been great. My other teammates, Matt Janiak and Horton, the Rickies, Danny Morgowitz, the guys that are at Middletown each week. It's been a lot of fun. It's a cool racing team to be a part of. Willie Ochmoody, the team manager, has been instrumental in putting everything together and working with me. So it's been a lot of fun, and just looking forward to refining everything over the winter and coming back again next year.
A racer's racer, Stewart Friesen finishes off his year at the dirt track at Charlotte, looking ahead to 2017 and finishing a couple of NASCAR races strong at the end of this year as well.
So, in case you missed that, breaking news alert, Stewart Friesen's going NASCAR in a dozen of them next year, Tom. Phoenix, Homestead, and then on to Daytona 2017.
No. I think you just ruined everybody's dinner.
Oh, I think I just broke Steve.
Yeah. Look, here's the deal. I don't see this ever turning into a full-time effort.
No, I don't think so either.
Reason being is, I believe, and again, this is just my perspective on it, I believe that Stewart likes the dirt stuff too much to make the NASCAR stuff a full-time thing. But how can you turn down an opportunity to run half the truck series or so?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a neat deal for him and for that team to be able to do that. It gives them more options from a marketing standpoint if you're trying to bring some corporate dollars to the table. And I think it's great for the dirt circuit too, because it's not often anymore, guys, and I think we need to have a good perspective about this. It's not often anymore that you see somebody from the dirt circuit step up and be able to run competitively in NASCAR. So I think it's good for the Northeast Dirt Circuit to have Stewart doing that, and hopefully running even farther toward the front next year than he did this year, and still being able to come back and play whenever he wants to.
Well, keep in mind, his dirt modified team are the owners of that truck, Steve. So they're going to play in the dirt as much as they want, and they're going to do as much NASCAR as they want because it's all the same guys at the end of the day.
Well, yes, and I hope that with all of this being said, I just hope that this doesn't turn into another one of our dirt drivers that gets swept up in the asphalt roundy rounds. I don't know, guys.
Go to break, and we can sulk and come back and talk more Super Dirt Car Series after that.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna take this break and lick my wounds, and we'll come back and we'll talk more dirt, and maybe we'll even hear from Mad Max. How's that sound?
That sounds great. So stick with us. You're listening to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm going to do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
If you're a gearhead and you just can't get enough of your favorite motorsports on that channel on the cable, or you look at that Guy network and you just go, what does that have to do with me? We have the answer. Performance Motorsports Network. Right here on the internet. The best cruising tunes, the best in motorsports programming, and the best shows. We have opinionated hosts, and we like it that way. If you want to get involved, if you want to bench race, be listening for information coming up soon right here on this channel, the Performance Motorsports Network, your source for motorsports.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stewart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Gary Tompkins, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Gary Tompkins bringing us back from commercial break. He didn't pull no punches about the fact that he was a victim of full throttle surgery on Friday night.
Wow.
Taking a bent axle all the way to a pretty decent finish. In fact, Gary said the car drove better after the axle got bent. So, that was an interesting storyline from this weekend down at Charlotte. But guys, talking with Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker from Race Chaser Online and the Performance Motorsports Network here on Turn 5 Live. Guys, we talked about Stewart Friesen in the last segment, and I want to kind of wrap that part of it up before we talk about Mad Max McLaughlin. Here's the thing that I think makes Stewart Friesen different from some of the other big names in dirt that we've seen chase a career in NASCAR. What's different, I think, about Friesen is is racing his way and making a pretty good living running the dirt modifieds and the sprint cars. So the big difference to me when we think about this is the fact that I don't think he could fully give up the dirt modified and the sprint car stuff, because the way they run, the races they've been able to win, Jacob, he's been able to do pretty well for himself.
I'd say so. 5 of the last 7 Super Dirt Week victories, and a victory at Eastern States, which paid, $30,000 to win, Steve, I think? Something like that.
Yeah, 35.
35,000
35 there and 50 at Super Dirt Week. Not bad.
No, that would be almost 6 figures out of 2 race weekends. So, no, it's not a bad time to be Stewart Friesen. Not a bad time at all. And, to be quite frank, I'm just going to say it. I'm with Tom in the fact that I don't think this is going to be a full-time thing for him at all. And I look forward to the times when he's able to go and dabble in NASCAR. I think that's a fun thing. It's a different thing for him. It's kind of, I don't want to call it his golf game, but it's his getaway time.
Well,
Tom.
That's kind of true in the sense for Stewart.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it is kind of his golf game, because I don't think he looks at that as his main thing to do. I think the dirt thing is his living. They go and do the best they can at the truck stuff. And like I said, it gives them some options. I think it's great. I think it's a win for everybody involved.
Yeah. So let's.
And from a PR perspective, Tom, this doing 12 races with the Camping World trucks, that's not a bad thing from the dirt modified ranks either.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a win all the way around, because you don't get many dirt drivers anymore who succeed down here in NASCAR and are able to play on any kind of a regular basis. So it's great publicity and credibility for that type of racing up there.
So, Jacob, one driver that you guys know so very well,
yes,
in your neck of the woods, who branched out this year, tackled his first full season on the Super Dirt Car Series, Mad Max McLaughlin. You got a chance to catch up with him before we get to that audio. Tell us about that a little bit.
Oh, gosh. Let's just say the Bad Boy Off-Road World Finals for Max McLaughlin was a race and a weekend that Max doesn't care if he ever relives it ever again. They went through 3 cars in 3 days. They went through his primary car, they went through his backup car, and they went through his HBR teammate Peter Britton's backup car, and they broke all of them. It was a camshaft in the motor on Friday night. It was I want to say it was a suspension issue on Thursday night, and it was it was a hole in the oil pan on Saturday night, Steve. Yeah, they had every problem known to man during this weekend at the dirt track at Charlotte. It was of no consequence to Max's season-ending awards, Tom. He still picks up the Super Dirt Car Series Rookie of the Year award. He finishes 12th in the final point standings and had a really good first year. The tracks where the series went to for the first time that nobody had any prior experience at, his worst finish was 12th. The kid had a really good year, really good first year, and his dad being a former big block guy himself, that doesn't hurt.
Well, of course not. Now, on the brighter side, he did set a new track record
at Millbridge
on Wednesday night of the Mini Outlaws.
Oh, my goodness.
9.5 seconds?
9.598 around a 6th-mile dirt oval in a winged Mini Outlaw kart. And literally, you see, this was the one race that you missed, Tom, and I wish I had the tape to play back right now, but I think I would break too many listeners' eardrums, because I was literally, by the time it was over, I was speechless, because the old track record was a 981, and Max went a 959, and I about chucked my microphone out the window. That's how in shock we all were.
That's what I generally do when I'm in shock. I chuck my microphone.
Yeah.
It's
So what you're saying, Jacob, is he used up all of that good luck on Wednesday.
He used it all up on Wednesday.
Blew out the good luck budget on Wednesday night. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in the big car and just break things.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I think you talked to him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Let's get Brad on and pushing buttons, and let's hear from Mad Max on his 2016 season, shall we?
Jacob Seelman for Race Chaser Online, the Performance Motorsports Network. 3 cars in 3 days during World Finals weekend for Max McLaughlin, which I know is not the way you wanted to end your Super Dirt Car Series rookie season, but nevertheless, Rookie of the Year honors, some strong runs this season, and I know for you, obviously a building year, a learning year. Now that we've gotten to the end of it, look back on it, kind of walk me through it a little bit. I know, obviously, high points, low points, but a whole lot of fun along the way, too.
Yeah, we've had some good races. We've had some bad races. Been in the top 5 a lot this year. We got a win, so, that win was huge for us. It definitely boosted our confidence level a whole bunch. 3 cars in 3 days is unfortunate. We've had the same body on all 3 cars, but, we had motor issues first time. We haven't really diagnosed that problem. Electrical issue possibly. It's a busy weekend, so you don't really have time to play with it. So we unloaded the backup car and lost the motor in the feature last night. So teammate Peter Britton, we stole his backup car for today. So see how that goes. Hopefully the third one's the charm. So we're going back at it tonight and going to give it 110%.
I know, obviously, a lot of experiences this season, a lot of things that you haven't necessarily experienced before, but man, I know you've had a lot of fun. Your dad was talking to me and said how much you've enjoyed this rookie season. What have been some of the high points in your mind? Obviously, the Futures win during Super Dirt Week was big.
Yeah, that was big. The low points have taught me more this year than anything. Leading at Brewerton for big show for me. That would have been a huge one for me. 3 laps ago, I hit a Uke tire, which cost us the win. I had that race won basically. So second to Larry White at Fulton. Got passed out of 4. Threw a slide job into 3. He crossed me over into 4 and beat me by 4/100ths of a second. So you can learn so much from these guys in this series, and I think it's going to pay off one day.
How big has it been running against the competition that you've run against this season? Shepard, your teammates at HBR, these guys, Hearn, that have done it for as long as they have, but haven't been afraid to kind of offer guidance where they can for you as well, knowing that you're trying to build yourself up.
Yeah, it's cool because, as good as these guys are, these are some of the best drivers you see. These are the best drivers in the country. You can just go right up, talk to them. They'll tell you what you need to know. They'll help you out. It's just really awesome, really. They've taught me a lot this year, and as soon as I start beating them, hopefully we'll start beating them, and they probably won't tell me as much then. But as of now, I'm the rookie on the block. I'm trying my hardest, and hopefully it pays off.
As far as this season, we talked a minute ago how big the win was during the Futures race. Kind of think back on that one for a minute. Walk me through the emotions as it got later and later. I'm sure you were just sitting here thinking after everything that's gone this season, can't help but think what's going to happen now, right?
Yeah, well, first of all, I looked at the lineup for the Futures race, and I looked at it and I said, how are half these guys in the Futures race? It was a stacked field. I was just... frustrated, but qualified on the pole for that deal and led every lap and won it, so that was awesome for us. It was definitely a confidence booster, and we thought we had a shot at it in the big one too, but lost a motor there. So we've had a lot of motor troubles recently, but hopefully don't have another one tonight.
Your dad used to do this big block deal, obviously been such a big part of your first season. How much have you learned from him? What are some of the things that he's kind of taught you and guided you with through this rookie season?
It's just cool to have him along my side through the whole thing. Not only driving tips, but setup wise, he's a huge help in the shop as well. So just having them alongside is huge for me, and he's definitely a big help.
Grade the end of year 1, looking ahead to year 2. I mean, obviously, you said right off the top you felt like between mechanical stuff and some things that you could improve, could have been better, but all in all, solid.
Yeah, it was a good year for sure. I learned a ton, and hopefully we'll come back stronger next year.
Who are all the partners, the supporters, Max? Obviously, you can't do any of this by yourself, and there's a lot of good people on this team that go into it.
Yeah, Al Hankey, HBR, Mohawk Northeast, Bad Boy Off-Road, JRI Shocks, Wiener Schnitzel Hot Dogs, Simpson Race Products, Walker Performance Filtration, Max Pappas Innovation. It's just everybody that's got me here to this point. It's huge, Al Hankey's given me this opportunity this year, and I'm so thankful for that. And hopefully I can get him some better finishes in the future.
And I think it goes without saying, but the goal now, if you can't do it tonight, a win in year 2, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Max McLaughlin here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte, wrapping a solid rookie season. He'll be Rookie of the Year for the Super Dirt Car Series in 2016. And Tom's just busy laughing that we got a Wiener Schnitzel reference on Turn 5 Live.
Not quite how I put it, but yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah. You know what? Max really sounds like a driver who's quietly confident that next year will be better.
Yeah.
And in terms of the World Final, it probably couldn't get much worse. But no, you know what? I think the lesson learned here is that the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds are a much tougher kind of car to drive, and a huge step up for Max too. He'd driven some IMCA style modifieds with some good success, I might add, and of course the Mini Outlaws, but this is a whole different breed of cat with more horsepower and just some of the most amazing racers on dirt you'll see anywhere in the country, Steve. So I really believe that if Max comes back next year with a winner for it to sink in, you're going to see a Mad Max in victory lane pretty soon in 2018. 17, sorry.
Wow, time warp much.
Yeah, time warp. Forward.
Yeah,
that was strange.
No, I agree with you guys. I think another season of experience, and now he's seen all of these plays. I mean, think about how many different places he raced at this year, and there was a lot of them that he had never been to before. I think that this was a great learning year for Max, and it was certainly a humbling season, but I'll tell you, he's got all the right people in his corner. Well, I mean, he's got everything he'll need to be successful and continue to learn.
He does, and as we get ready to go to break here, just the thought that, here's this kid, we talk about, second generation, third generation drivers, but here's this kid whose father made, his career start up in the north in that type of racing, but he was born in the south and, did all this and goes up there now and kind of walks in his father's shoes. Great story for Max McLaughlin, and we'll continue talking world finals of all types on the other side of the break. You're listening to Turn 5 live on the Performance Motorsports Network. For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. Now they're also an official motorsports content partner of Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for all their raw materials, such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much, much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is your number one source for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the road to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com and SRI-supplies.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, or call either company toll-free at 1-888-752-7272.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stewart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust, the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Matt Shepard, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Now that's appropriate. That's really appropriate, isn't it, after the show we've had tonight, Steve?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, we might as well end the show in greatness tonight.
In greatness, indeed. Again, 5 championships, 12 wins in a season. By the way, that's 46. Yeah, I had to stop and make sure I was doing the counting right. 46 for his career. No, 47, for his career now. Steve, including the one on Saturday night. He is within 4 of 4th on the all-time list. Now, there's some greatness for you.
And I'm just going to throw this out there. It's not going to take him long.
No,
I mean
he'll probably have 5 wins by about July next year.
Oh, July? Try June.
Well, the problem is we only had 3 races this season, or 3 points races by the end of June on the schedule this year.
That's true. That's true. It is going to be. I expect that we're going to see him really get some landmark victories next season. Certainly, to get himself well into the top 5. As far as series wins are concerned, and it's just been an incredible run for him. But guys, looking at all 3 of the champions that were crowned this weekend, I mean that same theme reigns true for all 3 of the champions from this weekend.
Yes, this weekend was about 3 drivers and 3 champions who are at the top of their game in their respective divisions. Donnie Schatz owns the sprint cars right now. Josh Richards owns the dirt super late models right now. Matt Shepard owns the big block modifieds. These 3 are their respective series right now, and the way they performed this year, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Well, let's give a quick call to Justin Hares, too.
Yes.
For some really, really good runs over the weekend. I mean,
yes.
He really, to me, was the surprise of the weekend in the Super Dirt Car Big Block Series, and I don't want to get through this show without paying a call to him, Jacob, because he just drove his ass off.
He really did. That was an incredible run that red and gold 3-car had over the weekend. Came up just short of a win, and as long as we're paying a nod to certain people, I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Dale Blaney, but I would be remiss if we didn't, before we close this show, pay a nod and actually dedicate this post-World Finals show to the memory of George Fisher, Dale Blaney's longtime car owner, Steve, who passed away unexpectedly on Thursday. We were talking about earlier how badly Dale wanted to win that race, but George was just
George was a supporter of all things dirt racing and gave so much to the sprint car world in his tenure. He and Blaney were such a force. They won, I think, 4 of Blaney's 6 All-Star Circuit of Champions titles together, and that's a pairing kind of like the Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus on the NASCAR side. When they were together, they were virtually unstoppable, and George just had a smile for everybody at the racetrack. I'm going to miss that when the lowrider pulls into the pit area, and going to be disappointed to not have that in 2017. But a great World Finals again. Congrats to Schatz, to Shepard, and to Kid Rocket. It was a great weekend. I loved it, and glad to be a part of this show again.
Well, thank you, boys, for all the efforts this weekend, all the interviews that you guys brought to the table this week. Made for a great show. Looking ahead to next Tuesday, looking to have Hall of Fame inductees for the Empire Super Sprints. We're looking to have Mike Van Dusen and Lance Young on next week's program, along with some other contributors who have followed their careers that have landed them in the ESS Hall of Fame. So look forward to that next Tuesday. That will be pre-recorded for you, as there's some other priorities next Tuesday taking place all across the country. But we will have a program for you here nonetheless, here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, your voice for motorsports.
Turn 5 Live is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network. PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com is a member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written